Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Suresh here today from Beyond Education Consultancy. I'm here right now in the United States, here in America, in St. Louis. Right here with me is Sophie. She's the International Admission Officer at Webster University for graduate, okay? So here in St. Louis, thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
morning. Right now I'm trying to go to Webster University. I'm on the way now. I'm just doing my Uber. So it's right here, almost in 5 minutes. I'm going to be reaching to the university right there. This is the road. I'm gonna film a little bit about it. This is located in, this is Webster Groves, right? What's the place? Webster Groves, yeah. 5 minutes, we will be in Webster University. This is the roadway, as you can see. And, I've been staying here. Like, I just came yesterday to the city and, I've been staying at a hotel, and tonight I'll be going to Arkansas. So this is the roadway. As you can see, a lot of jungles, next to it, a lot of trees. And it's not like, if you compare this with a lot of cities like in California or in Tennessee or other state, it's very different, very completely different. And you can see this. All right, I think we are inside the university almost now, just in 4 minutes. So there's a lot of roads, and I think the roads are, it's really good. But if you try to compare this with a lot of other cities in the States, so you will feel like you won't really like this much. So, but what I'm gonna show you is exactly how it looks like today. Either you really want to make a choice to choose to study in Webster University or not. Maybe this video is gonna be really helpful for you. When I show you around the city, the roads are a little bit. The roads are really like. I think it's not really very smooth. A little bit in some ways, some parts. I can see that. Okay, this is Webster, and what you can see right now on the video is what you see everywhere in this city. Okay, so what do you say? This is a city or a town, gentlemen?
Well, this is the St. Louis is the city, but this is out in the county.
Oh, this is a
So
county.
Webster would be a town, maybe.
Webster is in town. Okay, St. Louis is the city, but this is a little. How far is it from St. Louis?
About 8 miles.
8 miles. Okay. All right. So you can see this a lot of jungles right here. In 2 minutes, we are there. We are there in 2 minutes. We are almost at the university. The gentleman in front of me is a very unique gentleman, and I think he seems like an American from here. And so let's explore more about what we can see. This is the university. You can see Webster right here, and I'm just gonna. The gentleman is gonna take me to the park, And if you know the right here the office, you can lead me there too. Okay, this is the. You can see those flags. You've seen those on the pictures, and I'll see if there's a Nepal flag. Yeah. Yeah, there's a Nepal flag at the end. All right, so. Okay. Is this?
I got roped into it by my friends because we're all in the journalism department, but it is a very fun thing to sort of like get a feel for things outside of my comfort zone on campus, right? Which that's how we were founded in 1915 by a group of 5 nuns called the Sisters of Loretto. We were originally an all-women's Catholic university. However, we have dropped those affiliations and also allowed men into the university. So we're not that anymore, but that's how we started out, right? We were originally called Loretto College because of the Sisters of Loretto that founded us, right? This, as you can probably tell, looks a lot like a chapel space, right? It's one of our original buildings from 1915. And everything is original, other than these chairs that do lean a little far back that you guys noticed earlier, because they did originally have pews, of course. Those were scattered around campus at various different points. There's one in that back corner I like to point out, just like a memento, like a hello to our past, all of that fun stuff. Along with that, the things that have been updated would be like technology. So we obviously have to keep up with the times. We have these little speakers, projectors, things like that, because having 1915 technology in 2025 might not be the best bet, right? So we're keeping up with the times, updating everything, things like that. Continuing with our timeline, in the 60s is when we dropped those religious affiliations and also when we allowed men into the university. That's also when we changed our name to Webster College as opposed to Loretto College, right? finishing off the timeline, in the 80s, we became Webster University, which we are now known as today, which is also when we added our master's programs, our sports teams, and our trusty little Gorlock to go along with it. Now I know everyone's like, what in the world's a Gorlock? Don't worry, we'll talk about what he means later and what he's consisting of later. He's silly because he was made in the 80s, of course, but you can't have sports teams without a mascot. So he goes along with the sports teams, and he's just a fun guy and makes us different than most of the other colleges because no one else has a Gorlock, so. Yeah, any questions like the history of Webster, anything like that really quickly? Cool. Also very quickly, we want our film series along with our opera shows as well. So that's more so what you'd be in this building for.
So this was a chapel in the past?
Yes, it was, in 1915, yes.
Are you okay if I just...
We'll stop here for a second. This big pillar that you're actually standing right next to obviously tells you what this room is right here. This is our financial aid office. Over 90% of students get some sort of financial aid. That's everything from scholarships to loans to grants, maybe to FAFSA, all of the crazy stuff that gets that money down so you're not having to pay too much when you're going here. No worries. Along with that, when you're accepted in the university, you get assigned a financial aid advisor. That is your specific person within that department to help you answer all of those questions, to understand and how to get as many scholarships as you can, right? So they're there to answer any sort of financial questions that you may have. We'll walk this way. In partnership with financial aid, over here is our bursar's office or the business office. They simply work as a cashier, take the amount out of your account of however much your tuition is after the scholarships and everything, right? They don't know, right? So I very much so have to make sure it's pointed out that the questions go to financial aid. If you're trying to pay your tuition, you go over here, right? So they work in tandem with each other, but they are two very different things to know the differences between, right? We like to say that we're not a big fan of them over here because they steal your money and financial aid gives you the money. So we're more fans of them over there because they're helping you get that cost down a lot, right? Along with that, we're actually standing in two separate buildings right now. You guys are currently in Webster Hall, which is home to all the things we just passed. So financial aid, the Winifred Moore Auditorium that we were inside of, that chapel space, and also Office of Admission where you met me and you met with your admissions counselors, things like that. On our upper floors, we have various different classrooms for our legal studies and also our School of Education, and then just various other ones as well. In the basement, we have a performance space. It's also being renovated, which is very exciting. They're gonna up it and make it all fancier. That's our stage 3, one of our smaller stages on campus. For our conservatory, our theater department, and also the dance department. So it's also what I like to point out, go see all the shows that you can, right? Support the arts, support the sports, all that fun stuff, because it's all free when you're coming here. So since you're paying to be here, you might as well take advantage of everything that's free when you're here too, right? So just make sure that you're using all of that to your best ability that you can, right? The building that I'm standing in, this is called Loretto Hall. You won't be spending much time in here as opposed to like if you're gonna go talk to the chancellor or the president because their offices are over there. I don't know why you would need to go talk to them, but if you need to go chat with the chancellor and the big bosses of the university, feel free, that's where they are. Along with that, we also have our Federal Work Study office over there, but that's not the easiest way to go about getting a job on campus. We tend to recommend Webster's version of Indeed, which is called Handshake. It's an app that you download on your phone. It makes the whole process a lot easier, and they like edit your resume and things too on that app. So it's just a lot easier of a way if you are interested in finding a job. So just be aware of that. Yeah, so you'd be living here for sure. And we're about to go peek in on the dorms, so. Would we prefer elevators to get us up to the second floor of this building? Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
This is your tour.
Yeah.
Tour. And you If I miss information, I wish you would get it.
I'm confused in the context.
Love you. We heard you say you stay by the airport.
Yeah.
That's what we say.
Really?
Yeah.
So you guys are quite local to me. That's crazy. We'll head this. No one is currently living in the space, so don't be worried about like disturbing someone's room or anything. You're totally chilling. And also feel free to peek in the bathroom. It is right there and it's shared suite style. So do look at all of the facilities that are offered for sure.
If none of us go in there, you know, you have to. Okay.
It's a double room share.
Oh, okay, so shared restroom.
I'll tell all the information once people get in here so to make sure that everyone gets all of it. So. You are able to tighten it and also doesn't have to be lofted as well. So. Okay. Okay, so a little bit about this dorm itself. This one is called Maria Hall. It's one of our freshman dorm options here on campus. We also have West Hall, which I'll point out when we're passing it later on. It's a little bit more out of the way of things on campus. This one's more so in the central point of campus, right? One of our freshman dorms, as I said, it is shared with suite mates for the suite and then one roommate in each room, which you are able to obviously pick those. If you find someone you like on Instagram that you vibe with well, you get to pick those, things like that. Along with that, this dorm actually is connected to our main dining hall on campus, Marletto's. So it makes it very accessible. You just go right downstairs and then you're there and you can have your breakfast in the morning, right? However, what makes our other dorm very interesting is that they have full kitchens on each floor. So they have like stoves and things like that. Whereas on these dorms, we only have kitchenettes, which means like a full-size fridge and a full-size freezer along with a microwave on each floor. So if you're a big chef, you definitely want to go to West Hall, that we'll point out later on. If you don't want to walk all the way across campus to get your breakfast in the morning, this one will be more accessible to you as well. So it just depends on what you're looking for. They're both laid out the same way, and when you move in, you'll have all of the exact same furniture. So that won't change at all, and they're both suite style, so that's still the same way as well. It's just the difference between living on top of the dining hall versus having full stoves and kitchens on each floor. So being aware of that. Along with that, all of the dorms on campus have in-house laundry and things like that, and you also don't have to pay for that. They are all free, all very accessible in that way, so you don't have to carry around big old bags of quarters all the time, which is very nice. What else about housing? Obviously, as you've noticed, in this dorm specifically, they tend to loft their beds because it makes the room feel a lot bigger than it actually is whenever you have everything out separated. If you guys would want to see how it's laid out whenever it's not lofted, that next dorm over is laid out that way. So do feel free to peek in it because once again, no one's living on campus, you're totally fine in that way. But for the most part, it's just like the two desks are side by side and it's just a little bit lower and you just have a little bit less space in there, right? But it's just whatever you're looking for within your dorm, very accessible in that way, and you are able to like move it between levels and it doesn't have to be exactly that height as well. So it does depend on what you're looking for. Do be aware of the fears of lofting your bed, the different things that could possibly happen. You could possibly hit your head a few times, and you also could possibly roll off the bed, right? So do be aware of that. You are able to like put up things to dodge from rolling off and things along those lines. But it's just something to keep in mind whenever you are thinking of if you want to loft or not, right? So.
You choose that.
Yes, you get to choose that. And one might come already lofted when you move in, but you're able to move it down and like adjust it however you'd like. So it's totally accessible to whatever you need. Any other questions about dorms? We can peek in that like lounge kitchenette space if you'd like.
Tyler, I have a question.
Yeah.
This freshman, it's for bachelor's degree, undergraduate or graduate? Like,
Undergraduate freshmen, yes. Graduate aren't required to live on campus.
oh, okay, they don't live on campus.
They can if they want, but they'd have the upperclassmen dorms if they
And
wanted.
also,
So.
this is the two different, right? This one's a one room and the other one is a different, or it's the same, because I see that the two of like area right here is one. There's another one if we go just right here. There's a two different rooms.
Yes,
Okay.
2 different rooms, but they're just connected through the bathroom. So like you have 2 people in this room, 2 people in that room, and you're only sharing the bathroom between you 2.
Okay, and they do. Is there also the the rooms that has bathroom?
No, all of our dorms, for especially our freshmen, are all suite style. So they'll all be sharing at least 4 to a bathroom, but I mean, they're not communal, so it's not like everyone on the same floor is in the same bathroom.
Okay, that means 4 people are gonna share the bathroom.
Yeah, 4 people are sharing the same bathroom, but you're able to like lock it if you.
And is there like a specific different buildings for females and males?
Nope, every floor is co-ed.
Okay.
However, your roommate and your suite mates will be the same gender as you. And once again, you get to pick those people as well. Cool, cool. We'll go this way, and if we want to peek into that lounge kitchenette space, we will do that as well. Oh, I probably should have turned off that light. Hold on. That's so cool. I'm gonna have to start doing that too.
This seats.
This is that kitchenette space I talked about, so all of this is communal for the whole floor. Along with that, there's a lounge space right there on this table. Typically, that's where your RA, that each floor also has, will be hosting like floor events, things like that, so you can really get to know everyone living on your floor and not have to stress about like making friends those first few months. So it's a good thing to have like a big communal space that you guys can all hang out in if you'd like. Cool, cool. We will go. Yeah.
Concerning campus safety.
Yeah.
How is that?
I'd say that our campus is much safer, especially like in consideration to other like local universities and things like that. Webster Groves itself is a very safe space in general. However, typically we get like roped into like all of like the St. Louis things, but I never have experienced any unsafety, particularly like I walk out of like my buildings late at night because I have like late night rehearsals and things, and I walk across campus to my car and still haven't had any problems or anything like that. And our public safety is very adamant about like making sure that you know what resources they have, because they have like apps and things. So a safe campus, and everything is closed as well. You will notice that I will be swiping my ID card for every single building, because the only one that you can go inside of without swiping it is the one you guys entered in this morning. So it is very much so a closed campus as well. And even like dorms, since I don't live on campus, I don't get to go in the dorms at all, so I have these special keys to let me in as well. So it's very much so closed and safe, and not able to let like off people campus, not able to let people off of campus onto campus, like in our buildings and things like that. So I very much so like to stress like I've never had those experiences that are anything but great on this campus, especially safety wise. So yeah, we'll go this way.
Question when walking about the food.
We're gonna not walk that way. We're gonna go back down. So I'm gonna go in the elevator. Yeah. We will go in the elevator. You guys can head on down and just meet us
we are
in
now
that
in Webster
space
University.
that we were in.
I just had a tour on those housing and also the kitchen department. So I'm gonna ask a lot of questions that I know a lot of people that you're watching and you have.
And this elevator also will lead
you mind?
directly to that dining hall as
I'll try to
well,
just open them up.
which is very
Try to
nice
get
to
all
make
the
it like
answers that you
accessible
have.
in that way. And like our
questions
steps,
you
it's just
want.
like you go down. That is more of our cafeteria style, because we also have a restaurant style one that we'll go in later. We will go in that one at the very end, but it is like buffet style currently. So
So you have the residence director, RD, and all that. This office right here.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we always have people working those desks, things like that. Ooh, oh my god, that's not fun. I don't want to close the door on you.
So how
Okay.
many RDs actually have rooms in the dorm?
How many people?
How many RDs are actually?
Oh, that depends, because you're
They
okay.
have rooms for themselves in the dorm.
That's more so for our RAs have within the specific dorms. Like if you're living in,
Webster University.
if you're like the housing like desk worker, then you can live on any of the other dorms. They will just put you on a random desk, whichever shift you have. So that works slightly differently than our RAs do.
It's pretty difficult. So Skylar.
Yeah.
Mrs. Skylar, I was going to ask you that the kitchen that you're showing, is it where they cook the food as well?
Yeah.
And what if they decide not to cook and they want to have ready-made meal? Is there the option?
Wait, do you mean like the students are cooking there?
Yes.
The students are not cooking in there. That is pre-made food.
Okay, they just go
So like, yeah, it's all like we have workers cooking in there, I mean.
and they just go there and eat from there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Thank you.
What if they want to really cook? Is there any option like that?
Well, in that West Hall I was talking about, they have
Okay,
kitchens in
alright,
there.
okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. We'll stop here for a second. I like to point out over this way because it's so easy to tell which one's Marletto's versus which part of the building is Maria, because the Marletto's, that dining hall, is the all windows, more modern looking, and Maria is like the old brick and everything like that. All of our campus is so strikingly different from building to building on what's like modern, like remodeled 2020, that sort of deal, and then like original like 1915 stuff. And it's just a cool like way to show what you're about to see all around our campus.
You know,
So.
they have the family members, they come in here, they're trying to get the people inside the school here, and that's why they're here with us. Very smart when they planned that out. I don't know who did that, but they worked through it pretty well. Yeah, right? Oh. We'll just go into that lobby space right there, so just enter through that other door. Oh, thank you. Of course. Okay, we will stop right this way. This is our Emerson Library. It was remodeled in 2003, and I'm sure that vinyls, anything along the lines, we have some sort of variety of here, which is great to have all that offered to you. For free to check out whenever you'd like. Along with that, I like to point out over this way, this is our press box. All of professor works are in there. It's just cool to see all of the different books that they've written, and like if you need help with a course and they have a book about it, totally pick it up so that you can get that extra information or that help if you need it. And just like for interests that you can read about if you want to get like a professional's point of view on it. Behind that is our cyber cafe. This space and in the space above it is accessible 24/7 to students. All of the computers, all that study space is able to be used at all times, which is very nice, especially during finals, midterms, things like that. It's nice to be able to go about it that way. Along with that, in that back corner, we have a serving of Starbucks back there. This is also when I like to point out that all of our workers on campus get to know you pretty well, because campus is fairly small and we're a small university as opposed to a big one. All the workers get to know you very well, especially if you're going to the same places at around the same time every day. They'll get to know probably what your order is if you continue to get the same thing over and over. They know my order like it's the back of their hand because I go there like every day because I need my coffee in the morning. But it's really nice to have that sense of community, especially when you're like away from home or things like that and you're adjusting to college. So it's good to have like a friendly face giving you your order every day. Okay, I'll be up there in 2 seconds. Of course. You guys get a behind the scenes view of the Cyber Cafe.
Slow.
And we'll go to the right. That's how we'll meet them that way. Did we lose the rest of the group? Oh, there they are. Okay. This is the second floor of the library, which means that right here is our research help desk. They do exactly what the name tells you they do. They help you find your research, right? So any sort of good academic sources, which tends to be for our gen ed courses, because you're like, what in the world's an academic source? They can help you understand what that means and how to find it on Webster's resources, which is really nice because I was very clueless when I first came here. Along with that, we do have a 24/7, live chat room with an actual librarian, which means that they won't misunderstand what you're saying because it's not AI. They're gonna know, they're gonna be able to help you find those resources, things like that. And it's 24/7, so if the library is closed and you're working at on a paper at 1 a.m. perhaps because you might be a procrastinator or something like that, it's accessible at all times to make sure that you can get what you need and the help that you need. This here is that upper level of the cyber cafe. So once again, all of these computers, all of these printers, things like that are accessible 24/7. Along with that, with the printing, it's actually free for black and white printing, which is great. So once again, with the laundry, same deal. You don't have to carry around big old bags of quarters all the time, which makes it very accessible and easier to go about if you need to print something, right? Along with that, I like to stop us right here at this little bulletin board. There's always something happening on campus, always a club to join, some sort of event in the evening or afternoon or anything like that. Always something to pique your interest and to just figure out what's happening, especially because there are always flyers on literally any bulletin board, whiteboard, anything you'll find, any table, any surface at all, there's always something going on. Along with that, our SGA, Student Government Association, can give you a startup fund and a budget to create your own club, which if it isn't offered here at campus already, which is a very cool opportunity that is unique to Webster. We'll go this way. And we'll go towards the Gorlock. This is our little, Okay, we'll head over to our Gorlock over here. He's made up of a few different animals. Do we have any idea of what he might be made up of? Any guesses?
A little bit with monkey.
Not quite, not quite.
A little bit with,
Hi. Okay. Okay.
I'll come back out whenever we're done filming this way.
Okay.
Just so you guys know whenever you walk in. If
Okay.
you have a camera and 9 people looking at you, that's fine.
Okay, thank you for the warning. I appreciate it. So, any other guesses about what animals he could consist of, perhaps? Any animal of your wildest dreams that you think he might be? However, obviously times have changed a little bit. It's now 2025. We do have very different locations now. So do be aware that I'll talk more about what that difference is now later on, right? Along with that, he is called the Gorlock for the intersection of Gore and Lockwood, which is right off of campus in downtown Webster. The building is, as we're walking to the entrance we're gonna go inside of, that is Speardrup, our School of Communications. That's home to various different things in the media. So like journalism, game design, animation, film, audio engineering, anything to do with any of that is in there, all of the fun media stuff. Along with that, photography is also in there as well. The wing that we're not going inside of because they're blocking it off, that is our journalism wing, which is home to our journalists, of course. We will make sure that we can see like the journal room and all of that fun stuff as well though. They have a flat screen in there and that's always playing 24/7 news because our students in the journalist department have to know what's going on in the world. They can't be clueless and in their own world all the time. Along with that, over that way, we do have a media center, and it basically serves as a library for cameras, and it's a photography major. Check out a camera. You can do it at any point that you'd like, but obviously you can't get the big fancy ones because I don't want you to break it if you don't have any experience, right? But anyone can check out at least a little camera for like the day to take pictures around campus. This is our more film audio wing of the School of Communications. So down that way they have some like state-of-the-art technology for all of that sort of stuff. But I sadly don't have access to it as I have no idea how that would work things. So currently it's playing a student's animation, which is just always really cool to see like what our students have created and things like that. Because a lot of the times it's working alongside of other majors as well that might not even be in this building. So it's just cool to see. Along with that, upstairs we have a photo gallery, which is very exciting. Once a semester, students get to get their own photos published in it, which is very cool. I actually had one of my photos published in it this semester for the first time, and it was a fun event. They have like a whole ceremony thing, and it's always really cool to see it changing out the pictures. Whenever it's not like students' works, it's professionals in the field, local, things like that, or our professors. It just depends on what the thing is for that month. Along with that, this way is our alumni wall. I just like to point it out because I know a lot of the companies. I don't necessarily know the people's names, but like Walt Disney, that's crazy, like CVS, Cardinals, things like that. It's just cool to see where they ended up after Webster. And our School of Communications has one of the highest placement rates after graduation, so it's just cool to see that like they're truly doing what they're meant to be doing here. This is one of my favorite parts of this building particularly because this is our whiteboard. It's only erased once a week, so it truly gets quite eclectic. As you can see, there's always something happening. And I'm just always in awe of anyone that can draw anything because I can only dance. I cannot do any sort of like visual art other than dancing. So it's just really cool to see like all of the creativity and the talent that's in this building particularly. So. Does anyone want to draw something there for their first time on Webster's campus? It'll be erased in a week, so it's not like a commitment or anything.
I'm gonna write it.
You're gonna write something?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get your marker. Anybody else?
I'll write Beyond Education Consultancy.
Here you go. You want a marker? Oh.
What can I write?
See if that one works. I don't know if it'll work.
Anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere you'd like.
Okay,
You guys?
Right here, Beyond Education. It doesn't write.
Oh. We can trade out whenever someone else draws something really quickly. We don't have any other markers over here.
Oh, okay.
So just a sec.
Great. Can I have your? It doesn't write.
As we're waiting, that room actually right next to us on the left is our journal room. So that's where like the student newspaper, the journal, and the student magazine, that ampersand, is created. If we want a copy of it, on that top little like rack there is the most recent edition. It was all about everything to do with the arts, things like that, because Webster is a very artsy campus.
Sorry.
Of course, no worries. But I even wrote a story about like why I create, why I dance, things like that, and it was a really cool like process to go about all of that. So it's just cool to see like how students' voices are getting heard in there. Do any of us want a copy of that there? Yeah. I'll grab a handful and then we can.
These are newspaper. You can use that every day, right?
Huh?
Oh, you're gonna tell me.
Here. Anyone that wants one? You want one?
You answered one of my questions earlier, the missions, about communication,
Oh yeah.
having how well the graduates place.
Yeah, I don't know the exact percentage because it's always being updated, of course, but it is one of the highest, especially out of Webster's like colleges. Our School of Communications almost always is getting internships every summer, things like. What quads are, every university has one, big green patches of grass, where all of the events are held as they typically are, where like stereotypically in movies someone will like throw a frisbee if it's nice out and they'll have like little slow motion jumping scenes and things like that. But of course various different events are held out there. Oftentimes people have their classes out there, which is very cool. I had my improv dance class out there towards the end of the year and it was so fun. It was like dance in the field and everything. Going off of that, obviously various different events are out there, as I said. We had bubble soccer one time where everyone was in plastic bubbles and playing soccer and falling all over the place. It was really funny to watch. The photos turned out great after that. We've had therapy dogs, especially during finals, to like de-stress and everything. Along with that, we've had various different like night events. So we've had our silent disco out there, which is everyone has their own headphones and is kind of jamming out on their own, which is very cool. And then just various other things as well. Over that way is our visual arts studio. That's home to anything like painting, sculpture, things like that. They have their own galleries in there as well, which is very cool. And they also have the opportunity to get their work commissioned before they graduate and like learn how that process works. Because if they didn't learn it here, when would they learn it in the real world? That would just be stressful to not know it before that, so. This is our UC, or the University Center. It's like one of our other dining options on campus, so I'll run you through what each of those means once we're in there. Of course. Running through the different dining options in here. This one here is poke bowls or fresh made sushi at the top of the day. Continuing on, this here is WOW, our American eats, all of the unhealthy, great American food that we have. So like chicken tenders, French fries, quesadillas, unhealthy wraps, things like that. It's a very good classic here. Hello. And then this here is Freshens, our healthier option right next to our unhealthy option. But that's all about our smoothies, our rice bowls, and our healthier wraps, things like that.
Yes, she's doing great.
In there is our information center. If you go to any sort of campus activity that needs a ticket, you'd pick it up there, things like that. Along with that, if you want to check out a bike to ride around campus for the day, that's where that would be located as well. If you've noticed, we have quite a few flags above us without counting and cheating. How many do we think might be up there? Any guesses?
150.
Very close, very close.
120.
Oh, a little more.
100
You were super close with 150.
maybe
Oh, super close, super close. The closest you could
140.
possibly be.
142.
148! Yay! There are 148 flags up there. One of them represents at least one student from a Webster University campus. Is from that country, which is very cool. and it's actually up to date, which is great because there's a whole ceremony. It's a really cool thing to see as well. It's just a really cool event to take advantage of if you see it. I do like to say we cheat a little bit because we have 4 national campuses. However, that's quite a few more than just 5, right? You can, which is always a great opportunity to do so. So we will. We're gonna go this way.
Okay. I'll come. I just want to take a break.
Okay. Wait! I always press it a million times because I'm like, speed up, please, it takes forever. Especially this one. Along with that, we're the only university to house 2 professional theater companies on our campus. That's the Repertory Theater of St. Louis and the Opera Theater of St. Louis. It's really good opportunities for our musical theater majors to work alongside them and things along those lines. And also, they're discounted tickets for every student on campus. So, once again, support the arts. Go see all the shows that you can, right? Take advantage of it while you're here. One down, that is West Hall. So as I said, it's a little bit out of the way of things, but that is that dorm that's with the kitchens and all of that. Same setup as Maria, other than the kitchens on each floor as well. So just be aware, it is kind of out of the way of most buildings unless you're in like this building typically. So just to be aware of that. Connected to that is also East and upperclassmen dorm, and then there's WVA right here, our village apartments, also for upperclassmen. Just something to know that those are offered as well. You don't always have to be in your dorms. Yes, yes. Yeah. And then it's like if you don't get to, you don't get to, that sort of deal. But typically, you typically get what you want because Webster's a smaller university. You tend to be perfectly fine with whatever you want. But yeah, you just fill like a housing like application and things, and that's where you'll say like, my roommate's gonna be this person. That would be more so that way. Okay. But there is kind of both ways. Okay. There's like a little strip of places that's right down that way, and then there's like more so like the community that way. Okay. So just depends on what you're looking for. Student health services. MCISA is simply making sure that our international students, since they are such a large population of Webster students, are adjusting well to both Webster and life in the United States, things like that. And they also give away a lot of free food, so make sure you take advantage, once again, of anything free that they can give to you, take advantage of it, right? Along with that, behind that is our student health services. As I said, we have free on-campus nurses and mental health counselors if they are needed. I've never had to use them, very grateful for that. But if you would need to use those, that is that building right in front of you. Continuing on this way, that is our Garden Park Plaza. Starting with the thing closest to us, that's our bookstore. Obviously, as bookstores do, you can get your merch, things like that. We also have a price match guarantee. So if you find your textbooks for cheaper on Amazon, show them the proof, and then you can get that Amazon version minus the shipping. So make sure you take advantage of that as well. Behind that is academic advising. That's where you go to add or drop any classes. More so for like advice on what to take, you go to your department advisor though. So that's simply adding or dropping classes, which doesn't happen very often, right? So you might not be spending much time in there. Behind that is our career center, making sure you're ready for life after graduation, things like that. They host a career fair once a semester. They can edit your resume, do mock interviews. They have a career closet once a semester where it's free business casual clothing, so you can take advantage of that as well. Behind that is public safety. I've already touched on public safety for the most part. They make the public safe, things like that. They're also where you get your Webster ID along with your parking permits if you're gonna have a car on campus. So those parking permits last the whole year and you get them each year. They do cost $175 for commuters, but they're definitely a lot cheaper for on-campus livers. I'm not sure how much cheaper, but a quick Google would tell you that, or we can figure that out after the tour. So, after, basically, where you park your cars, right? We're just gonna chill straight in that lobby. Good.
Wow.
Oh, thank you. Need bathroom or water or anything while we're in this building, or are we just gonna go in the classroom and sit and talk for a second? Everyone okay? Cool, cool. Then we will find a classroom. Cool, we will go right in here. Feel free to have a seat. We'll be chilling in here for a little bit. Go ahead. Do have a seat. This will be a decent amount of my talking will be in here. Be in any big lecture halls. So this is like the typical classroom specifically for gen ed courses or any of the business, finance classes, things like that. So you'll probably be mainly in this building for most of your degree. It does depend, those specific statistics I'm about to share with you, they do all vary based on whatever your department is, so do keep that in mind whenever I'm mentioning this stuff. However, the one thing that does not depend on your department is our class size cap. All of our classes do cap out at 25 students. So as I said, no big lecture halls. You are going to be in the same courses that you are with all of like your other majors and things like that. Like all of your classes will be 25 or less students. So it makes it very nice, makes it easy to get that connection with people, things like that. We also have an average class size about 11 to 15-ish. Once again, it depends on your department. My department's much smaller, so typically mine's about 6 of us. So depends on how big your department is, right? What else? There's about a student to professor ratio about 9 to 1. Somehow. I don't know exactly how. We have a lot of random like connections and things like that. Oh, you'll be golden for all of that. Those are home to our English or history majors. So once again, you guys probably won't be spending too much time in there either. This building here starts with all of like our performing arts on campus. This one here is our community music school. Webster donated it to the community, and it's a lot of local kids around the area. You'll often see little children carrying tubas bigger than them, and they're like, what in the world are you doing at a college campus? They're getting music lessons in there. That's why they typically would be going that way. Continuing on with the performing arts, but now college kid version, over that way we have our Thompson Music House, home to our music majors, music performance, all of that fun stuff is in there. We have a stage, we have practice rooms, various different things like that. But once again, unless you're gonna take like a random music class at some point, it probably won't affect you too much. All of these tents are currently for an opera theater. They're having little performances all the time, and it's really busy whenever everybody's here for the festival. And then now we're on the other side of the Loretto Hilton Center. So once again, this is dance majors, musical theater, things like that. Our main stage, once again, go see all the shows that you can, all of the rep, all of the dance department, all of the conservatory, anything to do with that. Make sure you go see it all that you can. We'll go down that way. We'll wait here for a second. Are. Good, and be honest, I'm not my boss and I won't tell him anything. Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Mizzou is. Really? They do. Yeah, that's fair. I very understood. You guys are continuing though? Yeah. Okay, cool. Then we'll keep it walking this way. Yeah, a lot of universities are like that. And I was looking obviously for dance whenever I was in this process. And a lot of it was like you wouldn't even get to perform until your second year. Webster, you're ready. Get him in here now. So we've now made almost an entire circle. I promise we're almost done. You've almost learned all there is to know about Webster. We're now underneath the dorms that we were inside of earlier, because this right here is Marletto's, that main dining hall option I talked about earlier. So this is currently buffet style. I briefly might have mentioned that earlier. The menu changes once a week. You just swipe your card and get whatever you'd like. So once again, it varies on day to day on what you'll be getting, right? Along with that, you are required to get a meal plan if you're living on campus your first year, right? So there's obviously a variety of different things that are going to be within each meal plan. They start off with block meals. Those are 2 sides, an entree, and a drink. Those are also only able to be used at Marletto's and the UC. So do keep that in mind. They're a little harder to be able to use all of them, right? Along with that, the other thing that goes inside of those meal plans is our points. So that's dollar to dollar, and they're able to be used everywhere on campus. So the on-campus Starbucks here, the UC, and we also have a grab-and-go convenience store in that EAB that we were just in earlier. So those are able to be used everywhere, a lot more accessible, a lot easier, right? Our various different meal plan levels, A starts off with unlimited block meals. Crazy. You can get a block meal once every hour. Totally take advantage of it if you can. Obviously, as a dance major, my schedule would not allow that to happen. But if you are able to do that, totally do. But you might want to look at like your schedule and what those breaks would look like in comparison to the hours of the places, things like that before you're deciding if you can go with unlimited. And then B and C are just lower numbers of both mixtures of those block meals and those points getting lower and lower both times. So it does very much so depend on what you're looking for. Just keep that in mind. So I'll let them in really quickly. Resource Center. This is for any sort of accommodations, for peer tutoring, or also for writing coaches as well. Sorry, we won't block the door for you. Connected to the REEC is our testing center. So this is if you miss any sort of exam days or anything like that, or if you know you have like a family commitment or you're gonna be sick or something, just email both the testing center and your professor, and you can take your exam in there without missing out on points, which is very nice and makes it a lot easier for like if you're gonna be sick, that sort of thing, or like if you out of nowhere have something you have to go to do. It's good to have that there. So we'll go this way, and now we're really almost done, I promise.
We're done.
Yeah. And we've made it. I'm so glad we survived the heat and all the crazy walking. It was an adventure, but we did it. And I hope you guys enjoyed and learned at least a little bit about Webster. And I hope you guys become Gorlocks, especially you. I'll see you in the future, right? You'll definitely be here, right? Okay, cool. Oh, okay. I'll have to remember. But if not, the best of luck with the rest of the craziness that is searching for a college, and the best of luck with your future. So if we can trade out the lanyards for your shirt sizes and give you a free t-shirt, that would be great.
How do we tell someone you were great?
Ooh, I believe.
That's me.
Great.
Yes.
What size would you like?